next time.
Boy, that's embarrassing. Maybe I told you, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I think that's excellent.
I was just asking if it was
Hey, Mayor,
On the authority.
you able to take a moment to fix the actual clock?
That's
Although I actually, for the first time in months, put directions. I'll do it when no one's in, I'll bet I'll get it.
It used to be like a little, little chore.
Your fault.
Dustin, delegate. Look how tall Denny is. He can do it. Denny can do it without a ladder.
I just didn't know what the back burner was on it. Yeah. Conversation that I've got to give up for both that location and all the way through. It's not an easy thing to sort through. Yeah, I don't want to start. We know that. That's all. That's what's on. Well, you know, they have money, like But it's early in the budget. And actually, it's ironic how this works out.
You don't know. Thanks.
I washed my coat and it's really puffy, sticking up there.
Good morning, if you'd all rise. Well, the Board of Works meeting to order, we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. And I want to welcome everybody here today. For the record, Lynn, our entire membership is present.
Thank you.
And we'll go to the minutes from our last meeting in late February.
I looked those over, didn't see anything, did you?
I thought you did a great job.
She
Why,
did a
thank
great
you.
job. Kudos. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes
I'll
from
second
the last
that.
meeting.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The
Aye.
ayes have it. Reports oral and written. We do have one adjustment from wastewater payment. It looks like
Water
the
leak.
water running, so just for the record, that's there. And I appreciate wastewater working with residents that have issues like this to look their direction, so. No vote needed on that. There is no unfinished business. That'll take us to new business, street department, sealed quotes, asphalt material supply, due to what happened last year. I'll have Street Superintendent Dustin Dill come up. Maybe our attorney can help with these. Were there any, Lynn, that,
Yeah, we have 2 for asphalt and I think 3 for concrete.
let's start with the asphalt.
Okay,
Thank you.
the first one's gonna be from Brooks.
Brooks.
Brooks. What happened last year?
Well, okay, so at this time, as presiding officer accepted, I'm going to ask the street superintendent for the public record to take a look at that and tell the public what we're actually seeing. Thanks, Dustin.
I'm just going to read off the 3 types of asphalt that we use the most. So for the bid on 12.5 millimeter surface type A asphalt is $65 per ton. For intermediate 19 millimeter type A is $53 a ton, and base 25 millimeter type A asphalt is $52 per ton. Again, that is the primary items that we are typically using on the most part. So,
Anything else on that one?
not on that one, we'll go ahead and get the other one opened up and then we'll do both.
I'll ask you to bring it up for the record, and then I will hand it to the other board members, and then we'll get it back to you if the vote goes that direction. So there you go.
The second one's from Fenton Brown.
This one from Fend and Brown. Yeah, it's tape
Yeah, I
on
might
it.
have ripped it a
There
little
was some
bit.
tape on it. For the record, as presiding officer, I've received this. I'll hand it to the street superintendent for clarification.
Okay, so again, the same format, the surface, the 12.5 millimeter type A surface asphalt is $59 per ton. Intermediate 19 millimeter type A, $53 a ton. Base 25 millimeter type A asphalt at $53 per ton. So again, at this time, what I would ask of the board would be to accept both bids as presented. What we try to do here is obviously we put this out for bid to get the best price we possibly can for city materials. And in doing that, there are times that come up with locality or just time frame or what they may be making. If Finn and Brown is making they were the lowest bidder here. If they're making base one day on a big state project that they're doing, then we may not be able to get asphalt, but we need to do complete our project that day. We'll go to the next lowest bidder at that point, but we will always start with the lowest bidder and try to stay that way. So just asking you to accept all the bids as presented.
Before I entertain a motion, just for the record and for the public, I would like the membership to take a look at these. And Dustin, I appreciate your help. This one again is from Fend and Brown. The other one, correct me if I'm wrong, Diane, you looked at was from Brooks, okay?
Correct.
And Dustin, again, the motion that you want us to entertain once they have looked at these documents, what's the motion again that you're requesting?
Just to accept all bids as presented, yes.
Okay. Thank you for your assistance. Any questions for
No,
Dustin?
I'll move, if you're all right with that, I'll move we accept all the bids as presented.
Is there a second?
I will second that, yes.
Thank you, Diane. There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thanks, Dustin. Come up and take these and.
Now I'm trying to put it back in there.
Yeah, it was,
There we
it
go.
was a lot of tape on it, so,
There you go.
thanks, Dustin. Might want to stay up here. Is this one concrete?
Yes.
Yes.
The first one we have is from J.W. Ready Mix, which I think is a new player,
Correct.
or a new bidder, I should say.
As presiding officer, I've received sealed quote from J.W. Ready Mix for the record. And I will,
Are we looking at the same sort of process here? Okay, thank you.
I will hand it to the street superintendent for clarification. Thanks, Dustin.
Thank you. Okay, so for the 4,000 PSI limestone mix, we are looking at $168 per cubic yard. And we'll go with that. That's our most common, that's what we're pouring on our sidewalks and stuff with, so.
What kind of description was that? Limestone?
4,000 PSI limestone mix.
Yeah, 4,000 PSI mix, good. There you go. Thanks, Dustin. And there's another one, Lynn?
Yes, I have two more. This one's from Cure,
Kurt Concrete?
Kurt?
Sound like what you were trying to say, Lynn.
I think that's what I was trying to say.
Kurt Concrete, for the record, received. Board of Works as presiding officer. I will give it to Street Superintendent for clarification. Thanks.
So again, this bid is from Kurt Concrete for 4,000 PSI limestone mix. They are $160 per ton, or per cubic yard, sorry, per cubic yard.
And do they have any special fees?
There are a few special fees. Again, we'll go through those winter charges and those things as we go through them, but we're just mainly looking at what the main base
Okay.
bid is at this point.
And then the last bid is from Ozinga.
I saw it. I looked at that one. Thank you.
Did I pronounce that right? I like saying that word.
Zinga, as presiding officer, received. Board of Works meeting.
This one here, comparing this number.
A sealed quote
Good idea.
from Ozinga. I'm going to give it to our street superintendent for clarification.
Okay, so 4,000 PSI limestone mix on this one, again, is $160 per cubic yard.
Thanks, Dustin, for your assistance while they're looking at the last one. Your recommendation to the board on these three?
Yeah, very similar to what we just did with the asphalt, so we're gonna look those over. That's their base bid per cubic yard of 4,000 PSI mix. There are some little surcharges and things that we'll decipher, but again, we're looking for you to accept all of them as presented and award them all. We'll again start with the lowest price. If we can't get it due to locality or a time frame, again, we'll move to the next lowest bidder, but we'd like to accept all of them. And again, great to have, multiple bidders for asphalt and concrete on getting some competitive pricing. So thanks to all the bidders.
There aren't any questions?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I again go back to, like, one had no special fees, and this one has a surcharge for diesel. So when you consider what is the lowest bidder, are you taking all of that into account?
We will take all of that into account beforehand, but the way they were going to accept all of them as presented, we'll go through there to calculate all the surcharges just for making it, being timely, we're going through and just going off the per cubic yard price at this time as far as the public reading it.
Okay, well, I trust you to do that. I just
Yeah, sure.
wanted to compare apples to apples.
Good question.
Okay,
Again, why I'm
yes.
asking, why I'm asking him to go through it because of
Yeah.
how complex, it's just different, not the
It
normal
is
type
different type of
of
a
sealed quote.
bid, yeah. Okay, so I'll make a motion then at the recommendation of the street superintendent that we accept all three of these bids.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any further comments, Dustin? No? I'll entertain I'll entertain that motion and call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you,
Yes.
Dustin.
Dustin, would you like a folder for all this? Present from the clerk treasurer's office to the street department?
Appreciate your help.
All right, you should have given him one of those pocket ones.
Pay application for Anchorage
This costs too much
Road
money.
might be Jeremy, I'm guessing. Thank you, Jeremy. And good morning.
So you have before you just a standard pay application that we'll submit to NDOT for reimbursement of up to 80% is for ongoing engineering for the Anchorage Road project in the amount of $720.
I can personally attest it's happening.
That's just all the
I thought
utilities.
I was gonna look your direction. There's been a lot of activity out there.
I sent him a text saying, I'm coming, but I'm waiting to get through.
Yeah, that's just the utilities. Obviously, we had about a
Right.
year and a half worth of
Exactly.
utilities that need to be moved, and there's going to be more headache to come for sure. But
Yeah.
the end product will be worth the headache.
I'm trusting you.
I was out there at the bank and I saw it and I thought, poor Diane and then everybody else. So, yeah, so a lot of work, so. Any questions for,
No, when I looked at the pay app, I thought, well, this is a small piece of that pie.
Right.
Yeah, there's, as the project goes on, because these projects last so long, there's kind of that ongoing engineering as they try to get there. Really, at this point, most of it's just finalizing those last submissions, so there's not a lot of engineering work left, other than working with NDOT to finalize those plans as they're submitted for final tracings.
I'll move to approve the pay app.
I'll second that.
motion to approve in a second? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Jeremy, it does look like you have another pay application, Warsaw Chemical.
Yeah, so this is another pay application for Lynn Douglas as we continue with the Warsaw Chemical cleanup in the amount of $7,839. And this gets paid out of that SRF funding that we received a few years back. So we'll submit this to the state to pay.
Total amount is $7,839.
Yes.
I'll make a motion, we approve this pay application to Warsaw Chemical for $7,839.
I'll second that.
Motion to accept along with a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you.
Diane, you might have to use your boat to ferry yourself across the lake.
Yeah, and
When
now
it
I have
really gets
open
bad.
water for the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
time this
yeah.
morning, so yeah.
Aaron,
Is it all?
good morning to you.
Good morning.
Center Lake Pier. What
Yeah,
are we looking at
excited
here?
to bring before you our first pay application on the Center Lake Pier demolition construction. Our contractor is Milestone Contractors LP. I'll give you a quick little update and then I'll get specifically to what the request is. So they've made great progress out there. The pier is removed. So now it's a cleanup effort. So we will, within 2 weeks, be able to, I think, call that all the way done. And I think that'll excite lots of people to see that done. And then maybe we can start working on the new piers, but that's off the record there. So before you, it's the first pay application. The request is in the amount of $199,908.50. That's the request after we withheld a 5% retainage from all work that was completed at the end of February when this was sent. In the past week, they've made tremendous additional progress, but this is the work that was completed at that cutoff timeline. A remark to share, this is going to get interesting, and I don't know how it's going to go. So this was a joint purchase with money from Public Works Department, and so that we bring before the Board of Works as we are today. There's also going to be funding from Redevelopment Commission, so we'll, that's just a note to be aware of. That gets more important probably at the next pay application when we're going to be intermixing numbers and going to multiple meetings. But for here, this amount's all coming from the from our Public Works Department appropriation, and therefore it's the Board of Works' duty to approve this, and it is my recommendation that we do approve this.
Thank you for that. And again, related to the end of the day paying for it. Larry's back there, it's out, and we're a lot closer. I just appreciate everybody's team effort to get to this point. So a lot of people involved. And again, thanks, Aaron, for mentioning that. Any questions for Aaron on this request?
It's a good article in the newspaper, kind of explained to the public what's going on and reminding them, I think. So,
Well, that's great. I think Mr. Plummer's our man to thank for that. But,
Yeah, that was-
but yeah, again, it's been a joint effort. I think we're all excited to be a part of it and see it happen and everything. things, so.
Good. I'll move to approve the pay app as presented.
And I'll second that.
Motion to approve in a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Okay.
Thank you for that,
Thank you.
Aaron. Chief Schilling.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Winning.
In front of you is just an agreement or a contract to enter into with Flowtech Plumbing and Heating for all of our HVAC at all 3 stations. So it's just a preventative maintenance agreement where they come and service both the cooling and heating units
Correct me if I'm
for the
wrong,
year of
but-
2025.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see the stamp, but I may have missed it, but the fire territory
Yes,
approved this.
yes, they did
recommended
approve that.
Favorable recommendation.
Yes, correct. On Tuesday.
Yes, on Tuesday. Thanks, Chief.
Yeah, and it's the amount of $2,014.50 for all 7 units that we have between the 3 stations.
Any questions from the board?
I'll make a motion that we approve this contract with Flowtech.
I'll second that.
Motion to approve in a second. Any further comments, Chief?
Nope.
Call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank
Thanks.
you. Denny, you have a couple items here. The first one, travel requests. Thank you.
Yes, sir. We've got three requests for travel, or 2 stormwater. Members are going to be going down for the MS4 annual meeting in May, and then a request for the mayor's assistant to go to the mayor's assistant conference.
Any questions on these 3?
They all looked appropriate. I'll make a motion to approve the travel requests.
And I'll second that.
Motion to approve in a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you. Now to the new hire and change in payroll report. Thanks, Denny.
Yep, we have 2 items on this as well this time. One of our operators down at the street department, Cameron Craig, got his Class B CDL, so we're going to increase his pay a little bit for doing that. And then Kelsey Chanley will be doing a transfer from the police department records out to the airport and become the admin assistant at the airport.
Any questions on those 2?
No, I'll make a recommendation that we approve this payroll new hire change report.
And I'll second that.
Motion to approve in a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes
Thank you.
have it. Thanks, Denny. Park and Recreation, Stephanie or Larry. This is with Affinity Nonprofits.
Yeah, this is our, for your approval to purchase event cancellation insurance for our rock and country concerts. Did you want to do yours first? You missed. You
Point of
skipped one.
order, I may have,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Point of order, but I need to have you stay up here. Lynn, good catch. My fault as presiding officer. Let's go back to item number 9. This is from my office, but also it's connected to the park department. The July 4th celebration, historically, Lynn, you may want to help me, and Larry. Historically, the budget to support the Winona Lake Warsaw Independence Day celebration has come from Larry's budget. I don't know how many years you've been coming in here and doing that. The state notified us. Lynn was very helpful. What has happened is we've moved those dollars to the council budget. It's in the mayor's PR fund. I have budgeted $3,500 for this, and by just the appropriate way to do it, according to the State Board of Accounts, if I'm right, Lynn,
You're correct.
is it needs to come through those channels or that channel. Larry, any comments on that? The amount is $3,500.
Yeah, I think that's what we've given the last several years.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah.
same amount.
The same.
Yes.
Same amount, but it's just a different way of making the payment. So the State Board of Accounts they'll feel better about it if it comes through the council budget.
Kudos for Warsaw for doing that, because that's only a fraction of what that
Right.
costs.
Yeah. Right. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we accept that proposal as, for the fireworks display as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, there's a motion to accept and a second, and again, it will be $3,500 from the council budget to support that event. I'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thanks, Larry. Appreciate your patience.
Yep.
Now we're ready for Affinity Nonprofits.
Yeah, this is our event cancellation insurance for our rock and country concerts. It's a one-time premium of $1,811.33. It's $11.27 less than last year, but we have $500 less in coverage. So this will cover $37,000 for our rock concert and $40,000 for our country concert in case we have inclement weather or a cancellation, emergency cancellation. So this has happened in the past. I think it was 2012, somewhere in there that it happened. And it was very, I mean, we got all of our entertainment money back, so we didn't lose anything. So I think it's a very good thing to do for just a little bit of money. I mean, we're talking, $77,000 to be protected for $1,800. So,
$900 basically for the two,
Yeah.
because it covers both
Yeah.
concerts. The total is just over 1,800.
yes.
Yeah, I
yes.
remember looking at it
Yep.
before. I didn't pull it up, but
Yeah, the country's 900 and the rock was 833, and then there's
Okay.
service fees on it. But
Wasn't
yeah,
that
so-
a tornado warning? Or?
Yes,
Yes.
it was
Yes.
quite
Yes.
exciting.
yes,
It got really windy and then the park flooded and
yeah.
everything blew down.
Had trees down, we had equipment all over the place, and yeah.
and as you've come in here each year, you've always highly recommended it. This is just, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I absolutely
Right.
believe that. I mean, it's a good insurance policy to have. You never know what's going to happen in an outdoor concert, and this is a good way to protect our funds.
Yeah, paid off now.
Yeah,
And I'm assuming the park board is in agreement.
yeah.
And so I'll make a motion that we approve this insurance policy for event cancellation of the amount of $1,811.33.
I'll second that.
Motion to accept in a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thanks,
Thank you.
Larry.
Thank you.
And I'll call a point of order again before, good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning.
Before she begins, we'll start, if it's okay with the membership, starting with item 11 on the agenda and working our way down to 19.
Yeah, 19.
Item 19, so that would be 11 through 19. If you are okay and there are no objections, I'll allow Stephanie to take us through all those items, and then we can consider it as an entire presentation. You obviously would have the ability to focus on one of them if you want to.
Yeah, I just had a question about that since they're all different amounts. Can we do that?
We have done it in the past, and again, you can consider all of them. You can also, each one of them, and ask that a vote be done separately. I just want to make sure it is okay with you as the members to do it. But we can also go through each one and vote on each one.
I mean, as long as it's legal, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Good? You
Okay,
good?
Yes.
All right, yep. All right, we'll start with number 11 on the agenda. Thanks, Stephanie.
okay, so these are all for the summer concert series, and all of these are made possible with grant funds from the Kosciuszko County Community Foundation and the Indiana Arts Commission, so we want to make sure we thank them. So the first one is the Hipposonics. Their entertainment, obviously, for the summer concert series on May 23rd, 2025, for the amount of $900. We have the Blue Holler Band, entertainment for the summer concert series on May 30th of 2025, in the amount of $900.
Any questions on those two? Okay, moving to
Okay.
number 13.
Chris Golden, entertainment for the summer concert series on June 6th of 2025, in the amount of $2,295. We have the DBs, entertainment for the summer concert series on June 13th of 2025, in the amount of $500.
Any questions on those two, the board? Any questions?
Okay. We have the OK Boomer Band Entertainment for the Summer Concert Series on June 27th of 2025 in the amount of $650. We have the band Seymour Entertainment for the Summer Concert Series, July 11th of 2025 in the amount of $1,700.
Any questions on those two? Okay, moving on to item number 17.
Okay, we have the Resurrection Blues Band Entertainment for the Summer Concert Series on July 25th, 2025 in the amount of $500. We have the Lake Area Community Band for entertainment for the Summer Concert Series on August 8th of 2025 in the amount of $600. And we have Teague Holt for entertainment for the Summer Concert Series August 15th of 2025 in the amount of $1,700.
Any questions on the last three? Stephanie, while they're finishing up and taking a look at these, again, I want to thank you for your efforts, the entire park department, for providing all of this for us. It's always nice to see the laundry list. That takes me back up to item number 11, down to number 19. Any questions from any of the board members on any of the issues? Any questions, concerns, comments?
Is it 11 to 19 or 9 to 19?
It's 11,
Okay,
item 11.
okay. Well, I'll move we approve those park contracts as presented, items 11 through 19.
Thank you, George.
Yeah.
And I'll second that with the comment just that the attendance of these has increased every year.
And we
so-
added a few different nights. So we're going to do a John Cougar Mellencamp night, Jimmy Buffett night.
Yeah.
So we're trying a few other things. We've noticed that younger people are starting to come to these concerts.
Yes.
And the children are coming and playing in the park while the parents have a nice, relaxing time at the concert, which makes me really happy. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Appreciate your comments. Diane, again, all the
Yeah.
hard work, and it's just, it is exciting. Nice to know.
So that was my second.
All right. Motion and a second to approve items 11 through 19 presented by the Park Department. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
The ayes have it. Thank you.
And I just think we should acknowledge Stephanie's hard work
Yes.
on
Yes.
seeking out these, on responding to community comments that she's gotten and trying to just diversify the offerings and diversify the locations and all of those things to make them more accessible to everybody.
Diane, again, I appreciate your comments. Good. All right. Justin. Quite a few items here, and it's really exciting. Meeting several weeks ago, I think Eric was in on that. It's not over. We thought it was over, and it is not over. And so appreciate the board's patience here. Exciting news, but we do have a lot of steps to go through, and Justin's here to help us. Item number 20, the Okra Grant Agreement. Justin?
Yeah, so this agreement, or this grant, the idea of this grant has been in multiple public meetings, so I won't go into too much detail unless you guys have any questions about it, but just to kind of summarize, our partners at MACOG have been really instrumental in helping us remediate some of the brownfields around the city. I was just kind of adding some of the projects up in my head over the last 5 years, and I think we're well over $1 million worth of funding to help remediate some of these brownfield sites, which has turned into community economic development projects that have spurred a lot of activity around Argonne Road. So really excited about the things happening related to these brownfield cleanups, not only the environmental impact, but just how we're able to add housing to the community. Before you is the award. We were recently on our second round applying for this grant. We were actually awarded the $500,000 for the remediation of the former Jomac building on Winona Ave. So really excited. This ties into a lot of efforts that were recently undertaken with their corridor study that was done in 2023, and then the Winona Avenue Business Association. We've been working with them as well to try and make improvements along that corridor. So this is one of those first steps in hopefully a long line of steps to improve that whole corridor of the city. So before you submitted for your approval is the grant agreement. This is part of an Okra grant, so they have a lot of paperwork, a lot of language in these agreements. But to kind of summarize, the total project cost will be around $694,000. The local match I've broken down to show you that where those contributions are coming from for the local match of $194,000. So I just, at this point, I just like to open if you have any questions for me related to this grant agreement.
I appreciate all of your hard work, and again, Eric, always good to see you, and I know you've been greatly involved in this, and there's a big commitment from you and your organization. So any questions, though, on the memo from Justin on this particular item, and there are a lot more to come?
So the mayor will sign this electronically, so he doesn't need to sign anything today, is that correct?
Correct.
Just for my information, what is a POSI grant?
So that's the next item. Actually, that's a petroleum
Okay.
orphan site cleanup.
Good question.
But yeah, if I didn't define it on there, that's what that means. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And we are the primary applicant for the grant, but
Right.
the city actually applied on behalf of Fellowship Missions.
Yeah. And thanks, Aaron, for your work, too. I make a motion that we accept this grant. Do I have to say the whole number? Okay, number A 192-25-BC-23-104, between the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs and the City of Warsaw.
Thanks, Diane. Is there a second?
Just second that.
A motion and a second to accept. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 The ayes have it. Well, number one, Justin, let's go to the next item.
Again, we'll try to be brief on this one, but this is the acceptance of the POSI grant. As part of this grant, there was an effort to remediate the storage tanks that were underground. The Okra grant did not cover that remediation, but the POSI program through the state, the Petroleum Orphan Site program, does cover those. So we've got up to $250,000 for the remediation of those storage tanks and removal from those underground of the site. Our estimated amount is a little different than the total award, but hopefully we can get it done for what we've proposed there. I just ask for your approval of that grant.
So again, clarification, the grant's up to $250,000, that's the award, but you're estimating it's going to be just under $100,000
Correct.
For the work. Any questions from the board members?
No, I'll move we approve the acceptance of the POSI funding for Joe Mack site.
Motion to accept, is there a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it, thank you.
Just,
Go ahead.
are both of these considered federal grants, or are they state grants, or are they local grants?
So the POSI program, I believe, is through the state, but if anyone has any information, I can look into that, Lynn, if you need that
Yeah,
information.
we'll need that. for
Okra's
our-
federal, and the POSI program may have federal funding components in there
Okay,
as well.
let me know, or let Nancy know.
Any other questions, Lynn?
Nope.
Okay. All right, moving on to the next item, Justin.
Yeah, so being an Okra grant, we've got a couple more contracts to get through. They have a lot of steps in their process, so this is one of those steps. Since we are the recipient and then we have a sub-recipient, we have this agreement between us and Fellowship Missions, delineating the responsibilities of each party.
This will help us, again, within the memo, compliance and following all the regulations to make it work.
So does Okra actually send you this agreement, or did
Yes,
Scott
yeah.
have to draft it?
And these have to be physically signed and not electronically signed.
Correct, yeah. And this will be signed by Fellowship Missions as well. just kind of separates our duties as part of the grant. Since the city doesn't actually own the real estate, Okra likes to have control over what happens long-term with the site. To enable them to do that, they have to have these agreements in place since we are the recipient and they are the sub-recipient. We don't actually have any ownership of that property.
I'll make a motion then that we approve the sub-recipient agreement with Fellowship Missions Incorporated.
I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. Scott, any comments?
Well, not on that, but I would say this. We have many city employees that do a really good job, but I think Justin deserves some special recognition for this. You know, blighted properties are all over communities in the state of Indiana. Everybody's asking for help to take care of blighted properties, and that Justin was able to get these large awards to help fix a severely blighted property that's in our town. It's really pretty amazing, and he did a really, really, really good job, and it's going to have a big impact. So we see it everywhere in all the municipalities, but this was a really good get by Justin.
Yeah, and thanks for hanging in there and going round 2 with them.
And really, I appreciate that, Scott, but I really would have to point to our partners at MACOG too. They did most of the heavy lifting on this. We couldn't have done it without their help, so.
There's a motion and a second to accept. Any other comments?
Nope.
I'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Next item. Justin, you have another item here?
Yeah, so the last contract, again, with Okra, they want to have control over the long-term use of the property. So right now, that long-term use, per the grant, would be a open green space. This agreement basically states that if there is a change in that intended use, they would need to be notified in writing to make sure it was an approved use. They just don't want somebody to offload the property right after this grant is in place. So this is a 5-year term for that. They can change the use as we get into it, but there's a process for that. So this kind of shows you what Okra's process would be if those things need to occur within 5 years.
So just clarify for me, does the lien only go 5 years as well?
Yeah, the terms of the contract would be the 5-year window, so.
Okay.
So the restrictive covenant goes, that's it. Oh, yeah. That's good. Well, you can see why it seems like a reasonable request.
Right.
So I'll move, we'll go ahead.
I just wanted to jump up here and, again, I know you see Justin up here and paperwork presented in front of you, but he and Donnie behind the scenes and just how it was really throwing darts blindfolded the first go around, and they had no idea really what they were, aiming towards, because you just don't know. But their willingness to step into this to see the community changed, with these types of projects is amazing. So I just, I know he doesn't want to take credit for it, but he needs to take credit for it. He and Donnie they both just knocked it out of the park, and this will be a major step forward down that whole corridor to moving our community forward. So just want to, and thank you guys as well for, allowing him to do it.
The
So,
countless hours Eric
Oh,
and
my
I
goodness, yeah.
sat beside each other, and we were so thankful that Donnie and Justin were in the room helping us navigate through all of this.
so thank you.
And I think perhaps we should also thank the Community Foundation for the study that was done about this corridor, so that was already set in place and the documentation was there as to why this change needed to happen and who we were going to be serving. And a lot of our statistics for the underserved populations and the poverty levels and things like that came from them. So I think we also need to thank the Community Foundation for spearheading that effort. And Justin, I think Jeremy too, sat in on those meetings, and yeah.
Good.
And Josh Finch from the City Council.
Well
Yeah.
said. Thanks, Diane.
Kudos. I'll make a motion, we accept this lien and restrictive covenant agreement.
And I'll second that.
Any further comments? I'll call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Justin. Appreciate your comments, Eric, and again,
It's exciting.
Diane, thanks. Good. Police Department. Joel, thank you, sir.
Good morning. So I am here to ask permission to accept two grants. The first one, actually, both of them are through the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute through Indiana, and the first one is a SAVE grant. The SAVE grant enables officers to follow school buses and enforce school bus arm violations, and then also make school zones safer. This year, the Kosciuszko County Traffic Safety Partnership was awarded $17,000. Of that, $5,000 is for the city of Warsaw. This year, it's last year that it will be administered through the town of Winona Lake, and there are no matching funds for this grant, so I'm asking permission to accept the stop arm violation grant for $5,000 approximately.
Any questions for Captain Beam?
Well, we know firsthand in our community how important this is, so I'll make a motion that we accept this grant for the stop arm violation enforcement.
I'll second that.
Motion to accept along with a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Captain, you got another one here too for us.
Yeah, so this is administered in the exact same way. This is the Comprehensive Hoosier Highway Injury Reduction Program, or CHIRP. This grant covers officers pulling people over for speed, safety belts, and for example, some of those things. The Kosciuszko County Traffic Group received the grant for $23,000. Warsaw's part is $8,000 approximately. Again, it's administered to the town of Winona Lake for the last year. There are no matching funds for this grant. Usually I get asked, is this more or less than last year? And it is less than last year. We lost one grant, which was the VSEC grant, which was a $17,000 grant that we could enforce traffic on just US 30. And it was, we wrote hundreds of speeding tickets, and that grant was not available this year. So I'm asking permission to accept the CHIRP grant for approximately $8,000.
Any questions?
No, I'll move we accept the grant. Thank you, Joel.
And I appreciate your presence out there, so I would second that.
Motion to accept along with a second. Call the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Purchasing equipment request, Street Department. Dustin, thank you.
Yes, thank you. So the street department's requesting permission to purchase two Exmark Laser Z 60-inch lawn mowers from Bobcat of Warsaw. The cost of both of these mowers is $19,038, and that does include the trade-in of our two older ones that we've had. This is something that we kind of put on a revolving cycle. They have a 3-year full factory warranty, so we keep them for the 3 years. Trade them back in while they're still worth some dollars before maintenance costs start to rise and flip those back in.
Well, I know you put a lot of miles on these mowers.
They run every day, and it's, starting here about April, they'll run every day till the fall.
I'd make a motion that we approve the purchase of the two mowers for $19,038.
I'll second that.
Motion to approve in a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Another item, Dustin?
Yes, the second item, the state of Indiana has issued an invitation to join the state bid for 2025-2026 salt program, or salt bid. The estimated quantities are due no later than March 21st to One Indiana. We're seeking permission to commit to a quantity of 2,000 tons of untreated road salt with the minimum commitment of 80%, the maximum of 120% of that. This is something we've done for many, many years to help ensure we've upped the quantity just a little bit just for the the reason we finally have thanks to you guys, have a facility that can hold the salt. So to get those reserves stocked up and then be able to, start dwindling that down in the future.
How much salt have we used so far this year?
I think it was 1,884, 0.7 tons, if I remember correctly from my storm reports. That's just what's loaded. That doesn't count what we bring back. But yeah, we're right around 1,800 tons this year. This year was one of those years that I call a salt burner year, as we didn't have any large quantities of snow or large amounts of accumulation, or very seldom. But those little 1.5 inch snows are just enough to be a common nuisance. So.
Yeah.
Appreciate your efforts with that. Again, I'm contacted all of the time. I'm sure Diane will get a hold of you too. Thanks, Jeff, and all this kind of stuff. And my comment is, it's 3 a.m. I'm sleeping. Okay? These are the guys that are out there doing it, and so many people greatly appreciate the 240 lane miles that you are covering within our jurisdiction on a snow event.
Yes, thank you.
And/or ice event.
And/or ice, right?
I do make sure I send him a text, so occasionally when we're out doing that.
Don't send me one at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, I will move that we approve the permission to join the state salt bid.
And I'll second that.
Motion to approve in a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Another permission to purchase here.
Yeah, the last item I have is just requesting permission from the board to purchase a Bobcat T770 Tier 4 compact track loader from Bobcat of Warsaw. The cost after trade-in is $49,083.19. This is a trading in our 2018 Kubota SVL 95-2 track loader. Again, just keeping commonality of the equipment, same filters, same pieces of or same parts there. We have one of these T770s, so this would be a twin to the other one that we have. We typically trade these every couple of years. This was an older one that we had. From years past, like I said, it's a 2018, but we're trading that in. This is a little over $110,000 machine total. Bobcat of Warsaw is given a discount to the city of $31,540.03 with a trade-in of $30,000 for a final price of $49,083. So almost $60,000 off, basically. So on the price of a new one. Attached is Scott's letter of approval for the purchase as well. So
Help me out too, Dustin. It is under the $50,000 threshold, but I appreciate you coming to the Board of Works and sharing with the public, this board, a member of the council, how you're using dollars.
yeah, I think it's important. We've had this conversation multiple times, Mayor, but being that close to the threshold, even the mower purchases, it's just nice to know, for the public to know what we're doing, what we're buying, and the reasonings behind that and what we're utilizing it for. So again, nobody likes taxes. They want to make sure they're being put to good use. So again, this is equipment that goes out every day to be used with our paving crews and stuff. So will be highly utilized.
Thank you for your comments. Any questions from the board?
No, I just would like to say thank you all. So to Bobcat of Warsaw, being a local business and supporting our local community in this way to keep it affordable for the taxpayers. And I think lots of times we don't recognize these public-private partnerships enough, and that we should.
Very good point. They've been a great partner for the city on the service side of things as well. So thankful to have them in the community.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion that we approve this purchase from Bobcat of Warsaw.
And I'll second that.
A motion to approve along with the second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Dustin, thank you. Brian, been a long wait. Good to see you.
Benefit of being W in the alphabet, right?
Ryan always has to wait till the end, doesn't he?
W.
I think the first one is G&G Hauling, a change order.
Yeah, it's a change order for the shoreline restoration done at Kiwanis Park and Pike Lake. It's a deduct to the contract of $13,199.46. It was just matching quantities used with bid quantities, so there was less quantities used than what were bid, and so we get to see the savings from that.
I went out and took pictures of those yesterday. I mean, you can't see anything growing up yet, but everything's all shored up and the planting's done and the stuff is on. I guess Larry's gone, but yeah, they look really nice. I'm excited to see things come up.
I think with the 13
Yeah.
plus
reduction.
$1,000 deduction, it's just over, it's almost 108,000 now instead of the 121.
It's my favorite change order.
Yeah. So
The lesser
I'll
one?
move to approve.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We have another item.
So this is for that same project. This is the one and only payout for it. The one thing I want to point out, if you look at Aaron's letter, you'll see that there still is a couple little cleanup items to address there. But we are recommending full payment be made. We still have the performance bond in place if for some reason they would not complete it. But the importance, or the urgency is for the reimbursement of the $67,818.35 from the Watershed Foundation. With the bond they have a certain amount of time to disperse that money. So we need to make this payment so we can make the claim to them to get that money back.
Let me see that.
Yeah, we have a federal 319 grant that we have deadlines that we have to have from the Watershed Foundation to get it paid out.
So there are still mechanisms in place if for some reason they would fail to address any issues that are there in the spring.
Yeah.
But we are recommending full payment at this point so we can get our reimbursement.
And that amount again is $107,820.64.
Correct.
I feel comfortable approving this payout.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Second? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, the ayes have it. Brian,
you.
thank you. That takes us to, I think, claims. There are no special claims.
Special claims.
You have the regular claims, and then I think into the month in February.
I looked over both of those. Did you see anything?
I did not.
Any questions? I'll move we approve both the claims dockets as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second to accept. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you for that. And before we call it a day and open it up for any questions or comments from the public, Dustin, I'll bring you up here again. I think you may have some things that you want to comment earlier, but even before that, spring, I know it's cold today, but I did see next week it might be 70. What are some things that I can do, neighbors serving neighbors, to help the street department with spring cleanup and activity? Anything you want to comment to the public?
No, next week we're gonna be going full force with getting the street sweepers and stuff out to try to clean up some of the winter sludge that's all over, our community. So again, just encouraging, all our residents to keep the trash cans, behind, or recycle cans behind the curb, out of the way, keep the yard waste and yard waste bags as that starts to come about. Kind of Earth Week, here the third week of April, we will be doing our annual, bag giveaway. Shredding day, the whole ball wax there, so that'll be coming up soon. And also some road work is actually gonna start. The weather looks promising, so that with a couple vendors, we're gonna start crack sealing and get an early jump on some of our road program because we've got a lot going on this year. It's gonna be a very busy year, so just being mindful that construction will start here right again.
And during trash day, yard waste, if it's, you can do it, it's in the environmental friendly bags.
Correct.
And then large amounts, it would still be on trash day where the trash tote is that what you're?
Yeah, so if you have large amounts, we've had some high demand and different things that have come up in the last couple of weeks. So large brush piles and such, you can still put them out on your normal trash day. The trash guys may not, or the yard waste guys may not take them right when they come by, as we do have our grapple truck that I'm sure most people have called for themselves over the last few years. So we will be picking that stuff up on a regular basis and we'll work with you.
In residents with an alley, is it acceptable to put some of those larger brush items
Correct.
in the back? Is that acceptable?
Yes, we will totally work with them on the brush and stuff. We don't expect somebody to be lugging a big tree branch all the way around the house besides on Clark Street. But other than that, we'll allow them to do that and pick it up in the alley.
Thank you.
If residents need trash bags earlier, or yard waste bags earlier, are they available any earlier or
Yeah,
not?
So what we're gonna do, we've got them ordered, right now, and, a good amount ordered. But we're gonna give them away through that week of Earth Week, and that is, I mean, if we have a few, later, or left over, we'll go until we're completely gone. But for the most part, it's gonna be that Earth Week, they just, with the humidity and stuff, they're hard to store, it's no problem. So, again, we're trying to help the residents out by buying and purchasing them for them, but, again, come pick them up that week.
And again, I would just encourage people to take advantage of that. I mean, I see all these bags from other places out, and I'm thinking, the City of Warsaw bags are excellent. They're heavy, it can rain on them, and they still don't dissolve. They're as good as anything that you could go and purchase somewhere, and you are paying taxpayer dollars for them. So go and pick them up and use them.
Start there
Well,
first.
and Earth Week will be it's always a neat spring cleanup because we have the waste management provides the dumpsters out there for extra garbage and spring cleaning that you can take out, as far as city residents, as well as the bags and, again, Brian's event, he has going on the wastewater that week as well. So there's just a lot going on, a lot of educational opportunities.
When exactly is Earth Week?
When?
Yeah.
It's the third week of April, 24th.
Third week,
to the
April.
25th, I believe.
Sure David will have reminders of it in the local newspaper.
Any other
But
comments?
One other thing I just wanted to run by, this is not an action item by any means, but the information came out yesterday. It will be coming back to the next Board of Works. But the Community Crossings Program is a 50/50 match grant for the City of Warsaw. It's been a vital asset to our ability to get as much as accomplished as we possibly can. But we applied for two different projects that we've ended up combining into one as far as the grant acceptance that'll come before you next Board of Works. But of the two projects, the 50% match the City of Warsaw has been awarded is $929,526. So, again, we're gonna get very, very busy, but a little over $1.8 million worth of projects, with the engineering estimate, coming through there at 50% of cost. So, just a neat little tidbit that'll be, the information came out, it'll be all over, I'm sure, the news media, we want to make sure you guys caught that. We'll see that, action as an action item here.
That is really nice to hear, and no municipal wheel tax needs to be considered to get it at this time. So we'll see how that goes heading into next year. So, but thanks a lot, Dustin. Any questions or comments from anybody that is here? I want to thank all the department heads and captain for being here, and then for some reason we all like Eric. Good to see Eric, and really good. Anything? Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye? Aye?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Have a great day and a wonderful weekend. Thanks.
As always, these two for everybody, and then it's just you. It's not our reasons.
Busy meeting. Busy meeting.
Yeah, that's almost nice we got it done and now. It's nice to take as far as contracts.